Hey there, y'all. This is Jack, and today we are discussing One Piece, chapter 1102, The Life of Kuma. Now, this chapter does conclude Kuma's story, but again, we don't really know what his fate is currently as the actual robotic body, but as when it comes to his consciousness, yeah, this concludes it, which I liked it. I liked it. But there are some parts in here that I did not like, and we'll get to it, alright? But before we go into that, if you like this channel and like content like this, please consider subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. Alright, let's just dive right into the review, shall we? We're gonna cut past the Shonen Jump cover. It's pretty cool. I like it. Luffy throwing a snowball at me. I mean, I get it, Luffy. You're the worst criminal in One Piece, but hey, that's just me though. And also, our boy Shihido's in the background. That's cool. Okay, obviously Luffy's not the worst dude ever, but he's pretty bad. I mean, come on. He freed all the prisoners in Peldon. I mean, come on. But all right, we cut to the cover page, which is pretty cool. Seeing Bonnie eating the hot dogs. All the wolves are preparing it, and yeah, she just eats it because why not? Bonnie's like that. And anyway, we cut to the first page where essentially the Bonnie pirates are invading an island. When invading, it's more like Kuma's there. Let's go. Let's go. And get to my father and everything. That's pretty cool. Because at first I thought to myself, wait, would would they be able to find Kuma that easily? And I thought to myself, well, the warlord, yeah, you kind of would be able to find him easy there. So that makes sense actually. And they're all going there. Then some of the Marines are like, all right, we gotta stop these pirates here. I heard they went to an island and there was a bunch of beat up children and old people there. And one of the Marines is like, that's the worst kind of scum, and then he gets beat up as a child. Okay, I got a quick question here. Okay, is Bonnie and the pirates beating up the Marines as beat them up, and then she turns them into old men and children? I don't think that's it though, because why would she do that? They become defenseless. It seems like she turns them into kids and old people, and then beat them up. Like that's messed up. Like that's really really messed up. And Bonnie's like 10 years old at this point, right? She's either 10 or she's around her age of 10. But yeah, that's messed up, Bonnie. That's a real messed up. And like these Marines are genuine. They seem genuinely good because they seem actually ticked off that a pirate would beat on women and children. So yeah, these are good guys. And Bonnie turns them into children and old people and beats them down. That's messed up. I'm just saying. I'm not liking you, Bonnie. And then they managed to arrive where Kuma's at. Kuma's like, I'm happy to see that you've what you become. He's proud of his daughter. If she's a pirate, if that makes her happy, he's proud of that. And he just disappears. And Bonnie and I'm like, Matt, he was just here, right? I mean, we were so close, but let's just keep on going, looking around. And they're like, all right, so and yeah, plans on what we're gonna do. And she's like, well, if we're gonna take it slow, then how about we look around for Nika first? Imagine Daddy's face when I tell him that I found a Nika on So So Island. Don't you think he'll be thrilled? Which is nice to see that that she wants to see Nika and everything, which she kind of did, with Luffy, but she doesn't know that yet, or does she? No, not yet, because Kizaru kicked her out of the barrier before he transformed into that form. So yeah, and then we go to Luffy receiving his bounty against Arlong, which is pretty cool. As we get a perspective of people all around the world, dragons, smokers. I like smokers. Smokers cool. Ace and Jinbe, Takuma, Sankuma. What a curious twist of fate, Dragon. To think your boy would become a pirate. That's fair because he was raised under Garp, and Garp obviously wanted him to be a Marine. So honestly, this would be kind of a surprise. Obviously, Kuma probably didn't know. Well, he might have, to be honest. But yeah. And then we cut to Bonnie, cheering as she's, trying to disguise herself a bit more, but she gets a piercing on her right side of her face, so that way, hopefully her dad will be able to recognize her because Jewel Bonnie, her jewels, pretty nice. I like that a lot. Then we cut to Kuma walking past a bunch of his clones, as he said, "This is unsettling," and Vegapunk's like, "You think so? These possessions are going smoothly as your own modifications." Never mind that though. Do you heard of the news? Apparently, some rookie declared war on the world government. And then Luffy, in his lobby, and then we cut to Vegapunk learning about Dragon's son Luffy's the father of Dragon. Vegapunk's like, wait, what? Really? Why would you tell me this? Kuma's essentially like, well, you're essentially getting all the information on my mind, so you guys will know it eventually. So I figured I might as well just tell you, just showing their relationship building here. Even though it's been built up quite well with these characters, just them getting along with each other so well. Him saving his daughter, but just showing a mutual trust between these two. And then all the way a Thriller bark, we get that where uh, Kuma does the whole Ursa shock and then does the whole painting with Zoro, just showing more and more mutual respect he has for the Straw Hats Pirates, for Luffy's friends. Very good stuff there. I really like that he's learning, he's learning through the Straw Hats or from the Straw Hats, that Luffy, he's clearly got a good crew here. That's very good for him. He has exceptional friends, just as I'd expect from your Sun Dragon. And then next time we hear him, he's at Sabobi. He's there, and he's hearing, we got to gather our forces, because we got the ace, and we're essentially declaring war on the Whitebeard Pirates. And Kuma's like, all right, well, yeah, the other warlords are gonna be a struggle, but you know what? I'll be there. And then he goes to Sabobi because obviously his daughter's there, and he peeks into the window, or he sees his daughter, and he's like, it's sad. It really is sad because he sees her, eating the food or pizza and all that stuff, and he just he just peeks in. He's like, "This is the last time I'll see your face, Bonnie. A truly indomitable pirate, Bonnie." And then not too far, pretty close, which I was not a fan of. I think because again, it just seems too convenient for this to all be happening. I get the supernovas were around the same area, but literally down the street, the auction house, Luffy's causing a commotion. Like, come on, like really, come on. I'm not a fan of that because they say a pirate just hit a celestial dragon, and they're gonna send a warship from Navy HQ, and Kuma's like, wait, that's the human auction. I gotta go check it out because who in the world would be crazy enough to hit a celestial dragon? He peeks, he sees Luffy and all that gang, that's essentially saving the fisherman and Hachi. I hate Hachi. He's a terrible person. He needs to get eliminated because he's killed a lot of good Marines, and he's a pirate that killed a lot of innocent people. I mean, come on. I mean, Nami's village. I mean, just for short, right? So yeah, little tirade, but I don't like evil pirates in One Piece. And then he sees Luffy and everything. He says this. He says this, and I rolled my eyes. Hold on. Did he just protect the fishman? Straw Hat Luffy. No one has done anything this bold for hundreds and hundreds of years. And I say bull crap. Are you serious? No pirate or thief or bandit or anyone's ever taken a pot shot at a celestial dragon. I don't believe that bull crap. And as he says, it's treason. Then later on, we see him, stopping, the Pacifics, PX1, stopping him from, attacking the Straw Hats. As he starts, Kuma starts plopping them all away, until Kuma does go into the explanation of why he does this, which is obviously, what we all know and what our character surmised on I want to say Fishman Island, or when he returns to Sabobi, that Kuma essentially popped them all away to other places because Kuma's like, well, you guys are determined, but you guys are not ready for the new world. And your current level, you guys aren't just not ready. You just take this opportunity to get stronger, essentially, as he just pops them all away. And it's pretty cool to see that, to see that Kuma, like, that's why he did it. Because, again, it's Dragon's son, and he really, he likes Dragon's son. But, well, I'll save that thought for later. And then we cut to, Vegapunk and Saturn. Essentially, Saturn's like, yep, you gotta erase all his consciousness right now. And Vegapunk's like, wait, what? But you promised Kuma that he'll be able to see his daughter and all that stuff. And yeah, the dude's like, well, yeah, guess what? That's not happening. That's just not the way it's gonna go. And Vegapunk's like, all right, hold on, but let me give you terms. All right, let me give my terms. Right, I'll do that in exchange for allowing me to keep just in touch with his ego intact. I've invented a circuit for the brain which allows one to switch between two states of consciousness, Anki, and split personality. If you allow me to test it, so essentially, to inject it to Kuma to where Kuma will be, just a plain robot, and when Vegapunk wants to, he could just switch it to where Kuma will be back to his normal self, right? And Saturn is like, no, this is not conditional whatsoever. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna erase his mind. That's it. There's no talking about it. Obviously, Vegapunk actually, install that into Kuma. I'd be surprised if he did it with Kuma. if they ever meet Kuma again, you know. And then we cut to Vegapunk essentially, yeah, Kuma's like, yeah, I heard everything, dude. It's all right. Vegapunk like, wait, really? You heard it all? He's like, yeah. I mean, you are the one that gave me super hearing. And then he started kind of talking as Vegapunk's like, yeah, you know, this is the last time, right? This is the last time you're gonna be conscious, and then you're a robot from hence on. And Kuma's essentially like, yeah, you know what? I've come to terms with that. Um, but can you give me one thing though? Program me to protect the Straw Hats pirates ship. And Vegapunk's like, wait, what? And yeah, Kuma's like, you know, just until one of them returns. I like to be a stubborn guardian for their home, since I won't be able to witness their continued growth. And Vegapunk says, "What kind of future are you dreaming up of for that boy?" And Kuma says, "His actions have really moved me. I know Nikki is meant to be a legend, but since Luffy's the main character in One Piece, this story, I gotta back him up. You know, Oda's telling me to do this. You know." And Vegapunk's like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." And then then we get a moment where Kuma's Vegapunk's like, you know, you could make a copy, or you know, you can send out your memory in a bubble, right? So that way I could keep it on hand and analyze it and all that stuff. And Kuma's like, yeah, sure. Remember this as because Kuma's like, all right, yeah, I'll make it right here, right now. He's making it right now, as Vegapunk's like, yeah, I made a device so I could just peer into it, so that way I could able to analyze your memories, but it won't dissipate because obviously when you touch it, you just absorb it all. But here he's able to have a device to be able to analyze it. So that's pretty neat that Vegapunk would do that. I mean, makes sense. He would have something like that. And okay, remember all the rest of this is not inside the memory bubble. Vegapunk continues, don't fret. I've designed the mechanism to peek into it without touching it. And as he continues on, Kuma says, "So this is my life. I wonder how many people have been harmed or troubled by my actions." And Vegapunk is like, "Troubled? Living is nothing without trouble, wouldn't you say?" And then we get images of, again, this is really sad, of Kuma as a little baby, with his parents, and then running away as they died. Then he meets Ivan and his friend. Why did I almost forget her name? As he Cammy then gets with them, and then she obviously dies. Well, she's captured and then dies. Then he meets Dragon them, and then he runs off and he meets Bonnie, and then he runs off because he has to leave her. As he says, I can cure her, or sorry, Vegapunk says I could cure her in the flashback, and Kuma says I'm so grateful, thank goodness. As Vegapunk just starts crying and crying as he says, "Your life hasn't caused anyone harm or trouble, but your death will pain everyone who loves you. Listen well, Kuma. You are a hero too, not only for Bonnie, but for everyone you've ever met." And Kuma says, "Thank you." There's just one last thing, Vegapunk, and Vegapunk's like, "Yeah, I know." And then he just thinks to himself, Kuma, "I can't say how grateful I am." As we get, all the doctors and Sentamaru, is just paying their respects as Vegapunk pulls the lever, he falls to his knees. As Kuma remembers, "Thank you for saving Bonnie's life. If you ever see her again, could you tell her something for me? Please wish her a happy 10th birthday." So yeah, Kuma's saying thank you and giving one last wish. Yeah, obviously Bonnie didn't see any of that because the memory bubble is already gone. So yeah, so essentially the only thing left, because last thing we do see on this panel is Bonnie crying. Obviously, everything we saw, which she would have saw, would have made her cry. Obviously, that's it. But I think the part where it shows Kuma, saying yeah, can you wish her one last thing for me before I go? Wish her a 10th happy birthday. I obviously do think we were meant to interpret that was to Bonnie. Bonnie absorbed the memory. She witnessed that, but obviously she wouldn't have. And okay, so overall, I like this chapter. I really like Kuma. But again, just the fascination with I get Kuma, take again, the whole thing, him visiting Luffy was just odd to me. It just seems very odd, like something I don't believe Kuma would have done that, because why you could blow Dragon's son's cover, going to visit him. And then also but the rest of it where Kuma was like, like when you met him on Thriller Bark, and we saw Zoro and the rest of his friends, standing up to Kuma, and then Kuma, uh, engaging with them on Sabobi, and then Kuma sending him away. Like all that's fine, but the weird part to me is, well, like, is that why Kuma is treated like a dog? And the next time we see him at the at Pangea, is that why? Because he was gone for 2 years, and you're like, well, freak, yeah, you're back, and now we're gonna freaking treat you terribly. It's like, dang, like I guess that makes sense because he was gone for 2 years to save their bow, which is fine. I like that, but Luffy's or Kuma's saying, yeah, Luffy's gonna be the one to free the people. Like Luffy's gonna be the one to free the people, which is like, obviously that's not Luffy's goal. Luffy's goal is to find the One Piece, and the only reason he's doing all this is because um people just it just it's one of those instances where people come asking for help, and if they're like if they're like genuinely good people, Luffy will help them. It's not like Luffy's going out of his way to help people. It's no, it's like if no one interferes with Luffy right now, like Luffy's not like Luffy's goal is not to go take on the world government. It's not to go defeat Emu and the Marie and the Pangaea and the Five Elders. That's not it. That's Dragon. Like honestly, Kuma's last words should have been, "I believe Dragon is going to be the one to save, to free everyone." Like that's honestly, it should be Dragon that he's thinking. I'm not Luffy. That's not Luffy's goals to not defeat to bring down the world government. Yes, he declared enemies with them, but his goals because it was to save Robin. But yeah, that was weird, just bad for me. Like that was not good, not at all. Because again, it's like Luffy's a pirate. He wants to go on an adventure and go, find the One Piece, not to overthrow the world government. That's not his goal. I don't know. Maybe if the Marines capture Vegapunk, take him to Pangea, Luffy's like, all right, let's go do it. And I was like, well, things certainly kind of lined up for you there, Kuma. But I don't know. I think it's just Oda just pushing Luffy as the main. Well, he's obviously the main character, but pushing him, as like his goal. Like, yeah, it makes sense, guys. It just makes sense. No, it doesn't. But yeah, overall, I do like the characterization of all this stuff. Just that one part. So I'll give this chapter 7 out of 10. I liked it. I enjoyed it. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think. You guys think I'm being a bit too mean? But if I am, let me know because I'd be curious to hear what you all have to say. So yeah. Anyways, that concludes my review. And yeah, I mean, her name's Ginny. Why in the world did I think Cammy is Ginny? She's not the mermaid. Ginny's the name of Bonnie. But yeah, I'm my bad, guys. Fake One Piece fan. No, I am Team Marines though. So yeah, that concludes my review, and I hope you guys take care and have a good one. Later, guys.